If you're someone who is ready to go to college this year, or if you know someone in your family, friends, who's all set to go to college this year, then I just have the perfect book for you, either for yourself or to give someone who you know is all set to go to college. The book is How to Survive College by Simran Tapadia, very colorful paperback. Before we talk about the book, just something on the author. So Simran is also my work colleague, but just a disclaimer, she's not asked me to speak nice things about this book. This is my honest review, like always. She's a work colleague and she's also an artist, a wonderful illustrator. I will leave her Insta handle on the description below. And please check out her creation. She makes some wonderful stuffs, from wonderful stickers to candles, and it's like every day she's coming up with a new category of products. So yeah, talking about the book now. This book is actually it's not a very a book with a lot of pages. I think there are about 80 pages, 80 odd pages, but the book, I think, serves as a practical guide and a very comprehensive guide for someone who is confused, who is scared and nervous about starting their college life. Now, the book is distributed into 26 different chapters. I will broadly take you through just to give you an idea of what these chapters look like, and then we'll talk about the other aspects of the book that I greatly enjoyed. Simran has distributed the book into different categories. The first one is about college. So for example, things like if you're an outstation student, things to know before getting into a college, things to know about the city where you're going to go to college, how big the college is, what's the student size. If you're someone who prefers one-on-one interaction, then you would want to go to a college where, they're not dealing with 10,000, 15,000 or 20,000 students, maybe a private university. Similarly, there are things like, how to adjust to a new city. It can be really difficult for someone coming from a tier 2 or tier 3 city to, come to a metro city like, for example, Mumbai or Delhi. It can be very overwhelming and daunting. So she has spoken about certain tips, very valuable tips, how to adjust to a new city. What are the types of people you will meet in college? That was a very quirky chapter. I'll tell you why. Ways to deal with stress, how you can, manage your time, deadlines. So although this, I'm not the perfect TG for this, but the chapter on how to manage your deadlines and time management came in very handy. Then there is a chapter about public speaking. Public speaking can be for someone who is not an extrovert or, struggle with stage fright. This chapter was really handy with some useful tips. They were, so I think what really I like about the book, and it's engaging as well, that Simran has used a lot of humor in the book. She has used very quirky illustrations in the book. The book is filled with beautiful illustrations, quirky illustrations, I think, which makes the book very engaging and I think perfect for young readers. And she's also include her personal anecdotes. She's a young girl, and she's spoken from her own personal experiences. So there is a chapter on, how to look fresh after a sleepless night. I'm sure, all the college students, I was a college student once and we have all had sleepless nights. So Simran has given some valuable advices how you can look fresh and not a zombie next day in the morning. Then there is obviously chapter on exams and life outside the classrooms and all the fun things that you do. Then there's a chapter which would be really interesting for outstation students, which talk about roommates. We all struggle with roommates. You never really have a perfect roommate, right? If you have one, then you're very lucky. But she's mentioned like how you can adjust when you're roommate and you don't really get along, and how to adjust with your roommate, and what are the different type of roomies that you come across. That's where she's used these very quirky illustrations to describe what are the different roommates that you can come across. Obviously, there's a chapter on relationships. College is this time you meet a lot of people, you have crushes, you fall in love, you have your relationships. So how do you navigate that, and how do you deal with exes? You are still in the same class or working in the same team, but you're no more together. How do you deal that? I think so that's very useful. The working life, I think she's also mentioned about how do you crack your first job, what you should be looking at, and I think that was also quite interesting. Um, so just to give you an example of the kind of illustrations, so these are, for example, the chapter of types of people in colleges. So if you see the illustrations that she has used, so there is the athlete, the classmate who always flirts, the wannabe, the loud one who are always so loud, the hippie, the cool one who everyone wants to be friends with, the old soul people. I don't know if there's a teacher's pet, but just to let you guys know, I was a teacher's pet. I was that boring first bench student, who always obeyed the teachers, always followed all the rules, came on time, left on time, and yeah, so I was that typical teacher's pet. Yeah, oh, there is teacher's pet. Yeah. And then I think there was yeah, so this was I was talking about how to look fresh after a sleepless night. What I also like is that Simran has given this page, where you can write things. So this one is about that, she's basically written down some of the experiences that she cherished the most during her college life. And some of them are very interesting. And she's given you a place. I think college years never come back and you don't really realize about it while you're experiencing. It's only after later, many years down the line, you wish like, kash wo din wapas aa jate, or kash I would have done this, and maybe I would have gone for that trip or stayed back. So she's left you a place where you can write down experiences that you really want to fulfill while you are in your college. And similarly, there's a place for you to write down about things you want to experience with friends. Again, some of the college friendships really stays for you for really long. They become your forever friends and they make your time worthwhile in the college, besides your academics. So what are some of the things that you would like to experience with your college friends? So there's a place for that. Like she's written, take a road trip. I think all of us, thanks to After Dil Chahta Hai and Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, we all want to take a road trip with our friends. So yeah, that comes quite handy. And yeah, so this was all about what the book entails. Like I said, what really makes the book engaging are the illustrations. They're beautiful illustrations all over the book. There's humor, there is personal experiences that Simran has shared. So I feel that this is quite a handy, useful book for someone who is going to a college and they're really nervous, because it can be a daunting experience, college life, especially if you're traveling to a new city. It can be all the more overwhelming. So I feel that this is the book that you need for to get you prepared to go to college. Just a word of caution, this book, I think the readership age would be 15 and 16. So someone who's just completed their 10 standard, or for that matter 12 standard also, and they're going into graduation college, or for someone who's going to higher school, 11th, 12th. I think for them this is the perfect book. Anyone older than that, not necessarily, but yeah, if you're somewhere in between 15 to 17 years of age, this is the perfect book for you. Also, I think lastly I would just like to mention, because I didn't know this, although she's a colleague, while I was reading about the book online, I came across this fact that this was Simran's graduation project when she was studying. She came up with this comic, this book, and it was rejected by her faculty, saying, why would someone need an advice for you? And yet, after the rejection, she did not give up. She went on. She completed the book and she had it published. And I think there's a wonderful lesson for all of us here, that look what setbacks in your life can do to you, or rejections in your life can do to you. It can lead to a host of opportunities if only we are motivated enough to get up once again and not take the rejections too personally. So I love the book. Congratulations, Simran, won again. It's a wonderful book. So that's all on from my side on this book. I'm going to see you guys next week with another title. Till then, take care, bye bye, and please remember, keep reading. Keep reading 1 page or 10 pages every day, but please keep reading. See you, bye bye.